And welcome back to Atreyu News. Look what the woman who has been sentenced to 8 years in prison for illegally voting is saying now. The woman who was sentenced to 8 years in prison for illegally voting says the court made an example out of her. From Fox News, a Texas woman who is sentenced to 8 years in prison for illegally voting is crying foul, saying the state made an example out of her. Yeah, well, no kidding. It had to be somebody, right? It's not fair, said the 37-year-old Rosa Marie Ortega, arguing she didn't know the difference between being a legal permanent resident of the United States and being a citizen. In a jailhouse interview, Ortega took issue with the sentence handed down by a Fort Worth judge, arguing that a sentence of that kind should be for people who committed real crimes. You mean trying to alter the election of a country is not a real crime?
How do you make the best weather app in Texas better? We've added Traffic. The WAP now gives you road conditions, construction alerts, all on the WAP. Free for iPhone and Android, powered by the news, weather, and traffic leader, Fox 4.
In a jailhouse interview this evening, a Mexican citizen convicted and sentenced for voting illegally says she was used as a political example.
That.
Rosa Ortega maintains she did nothing wrong.
I'm still going to get deported, and I don't think it's fair.
She is currently serving an 8-year sentence for illegally voting in Dallas County and then trying to vote in Tarrant County. She spoke with Fox 4's Brandon Todd at the Tarrant County Jail, where she is serving her sentence. He's live tonight.
She's Spanish
with
too.
her reaction to last
What
week's
a
conviction.
coincidence.
Brandon.
Yeah, Steve, Rosa Ortega told me she wishes she'd never seen that voter registration she filled out years ago. The 37-year-old is headed to the state prison system, and she says it's because the Republican Party that she voted for since 2004 is now trying to make an example of her.
I don't think it's fair that I'm here.
From the Tarrant County Jail, Rosa Maria Ortega says her sentence of 8 years for being convicted of voter fraud is ridiculous.
I really think it was 2 years, the most 3. I didn't really think it was going to be 8. That was too much.
Prosecutors say Ortega lied on a Dallas County voter registration form saying she was a U.S. citizen and then voted at least 5 times over 10 years, including the 2012 general election and again in 2014. Both times, she says, casting a ballot for the Republican candidate.
Yeah,
When
right.
she tried to register in Tarrant County, she was told she couldn't because she wasn't a citizen. She and her attorney say there was a plea deal offered, but then yanked right before trial.
It was just against me. It was just against me, against me, against me, against me.
Oh, the
just to
victim
be an
now. I
example.
see.
That's all it is.
Ortega says her mother brought her into the country when she was a child and told her she was a legal citizen, and that's what she's always thought. She says she didn't know the difference between citizen and resident.
And next thing you know, it's like everything just, oh no, you did know, you did know. I didn't know. I didn't know, because if I would have known, I would have voted in Tarrant County. And
That's fascinating. She claims that her mother brought her into the country and then told her that she was a legal citizen. However, she never noticed that she never had a social insurance number or anything that would track you in order to get taxed, to have a real job, anything. What a bunch of BS. And to say that she voted for the Republicans are the ones that are trying to get the illegals out, and she is an illegal citizen. You want to tell me she voted for the Republicans when that would be the party trying to get rid of her? Give me a break. The lawyers told her what to say, I'm sure.
I didn't vote in Tarrant County.
Ortega, a mother of 4, says she misses her family and hopes other Latinos vote with caution. As for her 8-year sentence, she blames race and politics.
And they know that they're wrong, because they could have did this to someone else that really did something wrong, that really did a crime. You know, my record was clean, and to be having a felony 2nd degree with 8 years, that's impossible. That's just not fair. That's just.
She tries to play the victim card, yet She openly admits that she's voted several times. It's like, if you vote more than once in an election, there's nothing inside your brain that triggers that says maybe this is illegal. Give me a break. Deport her. Breaking. WikiLeaks reveals possible plot against Trump from intelligence community, and it's bad. Well, we know even going into the election that the CIA and FBI had leaks and moles within it that were causing disruption. And even Hillary Clinton being able to get off without being charged showed corruption within the intelligence agency. Now we go nuclear. I see war going to new levels. Just got an EM from Senator I.C. Friend. It began. He will die in jail. Former NSA employee John Schindler on Real Donald Trump archives from WikiLeaks. John Schindler. Now we go nuclear. You can kind of guess what do you think is going on inside? Well, there's definitely some real bad stuff going on within the intelligence agency. I'm optimistic that Trump's administration would be able to plug the leaks and get rid of the moles in no time flat. People forget that he's only been in office for a month or so, and what he has been able to achieve is astonishing. Secretary of Defense James Mattis tells NATO to pay up, and I agree, pay up. You want the American services? You want the services of the most powerful country the world has yet produced? It's going to pay. You pay for what you get. You want the best? It's going to cost you.
As President Trump has stated, he has strong support for NATO. And NATO is in the midst of transformation. It has always been adapting to the security challenges. This is nothing new. Perhaps the pace of change has certainly picked up a bit, but this is something that we can deal with. And it's absolutely appropriate, as a European Minister of Defense said last week, it's a fair demand that all who benefit from the best defense in the world carry their proportionate share of the necessary cost to defend freedom. And we should never forget, ultimately, it is freedom that we defend here at NATO.
Good. Love the idea of a strong alliance, but it's got to go both ways. Look how many Democrats voted against repealing gun background checks of disability recipients. The Senate just voted 57-43 to repeal a rule set by the Obama administration that requires federal agencies to provide mental health information from disability insurance recipients from gun background checks. Most who voted against the repeal were Democrats. Well, I will say one thing. The Democrats are actually helping the Republicans whether they mean to or not. Because I know the left propaganda that the mainstream media would spew has freaked so many Democrats out of all types that they are now buying guns in record numbers because they think Trump is some tyrant that's going to, I'm not really sure what they think he's going to do, but it's actually working in our favor because the Republicans, we want people to be armed to be able to protect themselves. So from a different angle, they're actually helping the Republicans. And if the Democrats want guns too, then who has the power to stop us from taking the country back? The answer? Nobody.